Welcome. This is Marty with FLIR Security's TCX Training Department. We're here today to talk about a redundancy scheme that's built right into Latitude called redundant recording. This basically allows us to take a camera that's attached to one archiver and stream an additional stream to a secondary archiver right in the system. Now there's a couple of things we need to set up first before we can do that. So let's go ahead and take a look here at our physical view. And you can see right here I have one camera, it's a 51 camera on Archiver 1, and I have the 50 camera on Archiver 2. So I do have two separate ones. Of course, that's needed to have redundant recording. But you can see if I go to either one of my archivers, now this is the camera that I'm going to record redundantly because I already have it set up to do so. And there's a couple of things we need to talk about that first then. And if you see right down here on the General tab, there are stream connection types. Now, in order to use two different streams from the camera, of course, Unicast UDP will not work on the archiver recording stream. Had I tried to go to my archiver and set up redundant recording, it would have warned me and let me know that I do need to take care of this first. So let's go ahead and take this. This is my 51 camera that I'm going to redundantly record to Archiver 2. You can see over here it's currently on Archiver 1. And I'm going to set this to multicast, and this is required, right? You'd have to have a switch that's capable of multicasting, and you set it up as such. And so I'll go ahead and save it. And once that's saved for the recording stream type in multicast, then I need to come back to my archiver itself. Now, this is the one that I want to sort of dual stream to the secondary archiver. So what I'm going to need to do is go to that secondary archiver and set up my redundant recording. You can see the camera that I want to redundantly record onto myself here, right, as Archiver 2, is actually currently being streamed to Archiver 1 as it should be. So I simply move it over and I hit save. And as far as configuration, it doesn't get any simpler than that. And now we can prove it that the redundant recording is actually recording to both archivers by simply launching our control center, which I'll do right here from within Admin Center. And we can go check and do a query and see where that recording is. Okay, now we're here in our Control Center application, and if I wanted to check and see, what I would do is I would come here. Now this is my 51 camera. This is the one that is on Archiver 1, and I have just now set up to redundantly record to Archiver 2. And there's no visual indicator, as you saw in Admin Center, that it is currently taking place, but you can prove it because you can do a query. Now, when you do a query for clips from this camera, what you need to do then is come to the advanced settings that are right here, the advanced search parameters. And you can see down at the bottom, search redundant archives, right? Without this checked, of course, it's not going to find it on the redundant recorder. So let's go ahead and check that. We'll hit OK. And now we'll just look back over the last 24 hours. I've been playing around with this for a while, so the results, there should be a number of results because I kept turning it on, turning it back off, and undoing my redundant recording as I was testing it out. So you should see a series of results starting yesterday. And as you can see, it does. Now, the important point to note right here is it talks about the archiving trigger. So this indicates that the scheduled recording, right, the normal recording onto Archiver 1 that it's attached to is currently recording. But it is also recording due to the redundant indicator that we set up on that Archiver 2 to receive a stream from that same camera. So you can see it is streaming on both. Now, if you don't check this box when you do your search, of course, you're never going to see the redundant stuff here because it's just going to result in the trigger here. But this is a way that you can see visually that your recordings are there. Now, keep in mind, both of these are within the system, right? Both of these archiving triggers. But you can see in Control Center, it doesn't really care where it's coming from in the system, and this is the same if it would be across many archivers, etc. If for some reason Archiver 1 would die and we physically don't have access to that video, it still would be there in the system and we'd be able to pull it up using our instant replay just like we normally do because there is that redundant copy there on that second archiver.